Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Case Studies here at HR Week 2022. This is Digital HR Day, so we're talking about everything data-driven and new technologies. I'm welcoming Dario and Aljoša here. They're going to be talking about data-driven insights into your workplace. And welcome, guys. How are you?
Hi.
How's everything there? Where are you currently?
Hi, calling from Ljubljana, so
Amazing. And you,
not
Aljoša?
far away.
Same.
Amazing.
So I guess we have the
Okay.
same weather. So.
Perfect. Okay, so the stage is yours, and see you very soon.
Okay, thank you, Masha. Hello to everyone. Dobar dan svima. So my name is Dario, and I'm a business developer here at Spica. I also manage a group of 10 people in my team, and I have a lot of experience working with different HR people from around the globe. So we offer one product for HR process, and we work globally. So we have a lot of experience also on that side. With me is also my colleague Aljoša from Bedva BI, and later on he will take the stage where he will also present how we can use the data from our system. So this year we see that this event, and we are planning also for 2023, we are all talking about a strategy, and I will try to show you how HR tech can support your strategy, how you can reach your KPIs and goals using HR software to help you reach your goals. So today we will focus only on the absences. I will just share my screen so we can start also with this. Share the screen and the entire screen share. I have prepared a short presentation. So I'm going to talk about managing and analyzing the impact of planned and unplanned leave. Managing absences can be quite a challenging process for HR, payroll teams, team leads, and especially as they can have a huge impact on your business. Here on the right, you can see the picture for the EU, and you can see in 2021, in Q3, we have a huge jump of different absences. And think about it, this is the Q3, so pandemic of COVID is already over, and again, we have a huge jump in different absences. Payroll costs for absences can raise up to 20% of your overall payroll cost. Absences also can have a huge impact also on your output. So how many revenue you are creating, how many services or products you are creating from your business. And HR can help with managing that absences for the business to reach your goals, to reach your plans. And that is why it is very important to manage absences much better. So let's see, what is absenteeism. That's a frequent absence from the workplace, and it can come for many reasons. So you can be on a vacation leave, you can be on a sick leave, you can be on childcare. So you can have different type of absences. But we can group them. We can also group them. So if we want to analyze them better, we need to group them, and we can group them to the planned ones, like vacation leave, paternity or maternity, and those ones are the easiest one to manage. So in advance, we know that someone wants to use their holiday. In advance, we know that someone is going to the maternity leave. The big challenge for the HR are unplanned absences. Those are something like sick leave, so no one knows if there will be sick tomorrow, if I will break my leg tomorrow. So it's quite hard to manage them and to plan them. We can group unauthorized absences, and those absences are not so often, but can have a lot of impact to the business. Sometimes some example of unauthorized absence is airport strike, let's call it. Okay, so why HR, why digitization, how tech software can help HR to manage better your absences and also to reach your goals and KPIs. I have found some interesting information. This is last information, so 2022, 2023 goals for HR, and you will see that most of the HR investments are going to the tech. We are trying to find the solutions which can help us to be more productive, more successful, and most of those products are going to the cloud. Why cloud? Because it offers a lot of advantages for the user. Much easier to deploy, much easier to manage. So all the employees can have it. They can have access using their mobile phone. We don't need to have a lot of computers or some time terminals. We can also integrate much easier those products, and you will see today. So all ours is integrating with Power BI, and then through that integration, you can visualize the data that we are using. Okay, a little bit about the absence tracking. So what we offer, and just a second. So this is the slide. Just a bit, what is our product? So we are offering time and attendance solution, and within that time and attendance solution, we have a feature of absence tracking. So you can have unlimited number of users, departments, managers, and this helps you to better manage your absences. We have audit log inside the app, so you can have approval history, who is receiving, who is approving or rejecting those absences. Quite easy management of those absences, you will see later. And also you can customize different absences, especially in the Adriatic region. We have a lot of different absences, especially because of the law. It's very hard to manage this. So let's go back to the PowerPoint and to use to the next slide. So if you are looking for an easier way to manage your employee absences, you can use all hours, and we can help you with planning those absences, managing requests, calculating different counters, like vacation counters, sick leave, everything what you need to manage there. We also know how to manage overtime and also prepare reports at the end. Okay, I will just jump a bit again back to the app. App is quite easy to use. It's Microsoft Azure database behind, so you can reach out through any mobile device or a web app. We support different languages. We support also different points of the setup. This is the basic view. Then you have this kind of a view. I have some data here. So Ben Affleck, Dario Affleck, Aniston and Nisa, they're on a vacation. Jen, she's waiting for approval. So this is why we have a yellow color. Then we have this kind of view. So we have an absence calendar, and you can with ease manage your team, your all company, and then let's call it approve or reject something. So right away you have everything ready in the system. This is some systematic view of for the analysis, so we can see the prevalent category and different type of absences or registrations. And at the end, you can also see some violations, which more will show you my colleague later. Okay, so at the end, because I have only 10 minutes, I will tell you something about top absence KPI. What you should track, what we are also tracking. So usually most of our customers are tracking absence rate. So how many absences we have compared to the presence. We can also check the share of unplanned leaves, because those are the ones who are the hardest to manage. You can check the cost of those unplanned leaves, and to calculate the cost, you should also check the overtime. So cost of overtime, because someone needs to work if someone is not at work. And for the end, some of the tactics. Here at Spica, we have around almost 160 employees, and we are using some of them. We are also having trouble with absenteeism, and I have exposed some of that we are using the most. So keep track of your employee absences. This way you can create your employee absenteeism policies, offer health and well-being programs, so team buildings, going to the gym, having a gym inside of your company, healthy breakfast, Everything of that you can use to reduce your absenteeism in the company. Provide flexible PTO, so paid time off policies. If I'm sending my request and I need the paid time off tomorrow for something, it's better than I need to call someone, sending an email, receive that approval in that 10 days. And also the last one is avoid forming bad habits. So try to help your employees to stay healthy and productive. So this is from me. Now Aljoša will take over and present you a bit more in the Power BI. Aljoša, the stage is yours.
Dario, thank you very much, and hello everyone. My name is Aljoša Željeznov. I'm the COO at B2BI, which means I oversee the majority of strategic projects, those projects being implementing. Just a second, I can hear myself. There we go. Okay, so implementing the majority of the strategic projects for our customers, those projects being implementation of Power BI solutions as a data analysis tool that the companies, our customers, use on a day-to-day basis. And many of these projects that I have helped to implement are also HR management dashboards. Now, the best logical step in the evolution of data analysis is to funnel the data that you have, the data that Dario talked about, into a proper and analytically heavy-based analysis program, which in our case is going to be Microsoft's Power BI. And just to kind of explain what Power BI is, just so that we have a baseline to understand what we can expect from this program. Power BI is a tool, it's a solution, it's a platform that allows you to connect to your different data sources. It does not necessarily need to be one data source. It can be a plethora of data sources, connect them between themselves, create calculations that then mimic the KPIs that we are used to follow and check up on, and then visualize these KPIs and their supporting data in a user-friendly way, an intuitive way, with a heavy focus, and this is what we live and breathe of data storytelling. I am trying to share the screen. Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. Now, what we have in front of us here is obviously a demo. It is done within Power BI, Microsoft Power BI. And the data behind it is exactly what Dario was talking about. It's from an HR system, and we are funneling it directly into the Power BI solution. Now, to further align ourselves, on the bottom hand side we have a bunch of pages, and the name of these pages, the report pages, is supposed to guide the user as to which data they will be able to see and analyze within the page. And today we will focus heavily on absenteeism, and if time allows, also on the work time violations and overtime, because as Dario suggested, this is an aggregate of KPIs that we need to analyze and understand in unison to make informed decisions afterwards. So the first page in absenteeism, and I'd just like to point out that the layout of the reports is going to be mainly the same, as to not to confuse the users too much. On the left hand side, on the top of it, we are going to have our main KPIs that we are tracking, and in terms of analyzing absenteeism, these two KPIs will be the hours that our employees were absent this year and how much that averages down to an employee within this year. Now, obviously, a good KPI means you are benchmarking it on something. In this case, we will be benchmarking it with a goal, and that goal will be the same value in the previous year, obviously in the same time span, just 1 year less. Now, this is a case-by-case thing. Either we benchmark something versus a previous year, we might end up benchmarking it versus some planned values, budgeted values. Again, it is a case-by-case thing. Now, the other the other visuals or supporting factors try to tell us the story, right? This is what we're talking about, a data storytelling solution that gives you as much insight into the data as possible. The other visuals are building blocks to tell you why the values in the KPIs are as they are. And we are tracking our absences in hours in blue columns and blue bars within this year versus, and these are the gray bars, the values of hours that people are absent in the previous year. And we drill down and we dissect that data within everything that the solution provides us with, mainly in this case being the types of absences, something that Dario already touched upon. The time span of it, so in months, how if there is a trend that we would like to follow, whether the cost of these absences fall on the company or on the government. Again, this is a legislation issue that differs from country to country, and the absences, whether they were planned and unplanned. The majority of the data, or rather the space for the data on the bottom hand side, is reserved for the thing that we tend to look at the most, meaning are either groups, departments, and underlying employees that we are working with. Now I'm going to close this up. And this is the layout that we'll be covering, that we will be following throughout the reports, regardless on which report we are. Without any user interaction, the report already gives us some insight when it comes to absenteeism. The first one being the KPIs and their colors. As we can see, the hours spent, 92,000, is much higher than we had as an absence in hours in the previous year, which means this color is red, so we're not doing as well as we should on this aspect. However, average down to employee is lower than what was last year. Now, a sort of a gut feeling would tell us, okay, so maybe we're employing more people than we employed them last year. And obviously the supporting analysis, the right and the bottom charts need to give us access to that information. And that one is given. If we scroll the table to the right-hand side, it's hidden, but there's a reason for it. We have two columns that depict how many people, how many employees we are employing right now. So in this year, and how many employees we've employed last year. So there is a number of 21 employees that we've jumped up in employment status, which correlates with us understanding, okay, so this is why the hours in absenteeism is higher, because it might fall down to simply people using up their vacation time. Of course, there's more people, that means there's more vacation time as a total. However, when we round down on average per employee, it's lower, meaning that we have less of an absence when it comes to sick days. And again, we need to confirm that if this story of us is real with the right-hand side absenteeism types chart, which confirms what we've thought. So there's more hours spent on vacations, and there is less hours spent on sick leaves up until over 90 days, which is a bit higher, but it doesn't amount to the fact that this is still on average a bit lower. Now, again, this has been without any user interaction as so far, but what Power BI does offer is user interaction in terms of clicking on the reports. Each visual is a filter as well. That means I can try to understand why the finance sector, or rather group, apologies, is the highest when it comes to absences per employee, especially since it's benchmarked on the previous year, and it's the highest difference in average hours spent per employee throughout the company. What I can do is simply click on the finance group, and everything adjusted itself to my filter. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to unfilter it so that I get everything back. Come on. There we go. And if we click again on finance, everything adjusts to it. Now, what I see, the majority, the highest amount of time spent on the absence type is parental leave, meaning I can drill down into the finance, into management. And what I see is Eva, who has been with us for a while now, has been absent in total throughout the year. And she has not been as absent as she was, because she is the one, if I click on her, we are going to get the parental leave as the majority of it. Now, this is a simple story that with a few clicks, I've drilled down from into the data itself. Now, the contributing factors for this is that, okay, so what did we do about it? This was a planned vacation. Well, it's not a vacation, a planned absenteeism. What we did was we employed 3 other people within the management department. How do we know that they are new? Because they have no registered, at least no registered absence. We are trying to figure out whether they are new here or not. So I'm just going to click on them. Petra, Primož, and Dasha. And these are the 3 new employees that either cover Eva's job or are simply as an add-ons to expand our financial management sector. And as it is possible to see, they had no vacations, no absences in the previous year. We might actually have to look in their contract to understand whether they were employed this year, last year, and so on. Now, this goes hand in hand. We have a bit of time left, hand in hand with the overtime use as well. So we're going to go on the overtime use, where we have a balance of hours that we either need to spend or have spent in terms of overtime use. Now, finance sector itself has a very low balance of overtime use. That means even though Eva went on a maternal leave, the other people covered for her, meaning we didn't have any additional overtime, which was not the case in other sectors, for instance, logistics, quality assurance, and quality control, manufacturing, and so on. If we want to understand how the manufacturing department works in terms of overtime, we can expand upon it. And we will be able to see that the highest balance that we need to cover is still in the manufacturing group. The plant number 7, with a total of 88 hours that are still needed to use, dropped down a lot since last year, which is visible through the red chart telling us, okay, so last year they had a lot of overtime. This year we're getting better and better. Now, hopefully, with a bit of intuitive clicking on a well-prepared dashboard, we are able to see the data from a different standpoint, from a different point of view. We are working with the same data that Dario discussed beforehand. And so hopefully Dario and myself covered how we manage the data from Dario's side and analyze the data from my side when it comes to HR dashboards and their preparations.
Thank you guys very much for sharing your insight and everything that you do with data. I think it's very important that we now look at the futuristic outlook, let's say, when it comes to managing HR processes and everything that happens behind the scenes. So we have an amazing question coming in from the audience, and it says, why would an unexpected absence affect the salary if it assigned work is done in time? So I hope that you guys have an answer on this.
I think I have a great answer for that, because in my opinion, I agree with that. I think you should be paid if you are getting your job done. But with my experience, I think there are 2 issues with this. And the first one is how we are tracking what should be done and what was done. So it's not so easy, especially in different industries. And the second one, you must be also careful about the local laws. So in some countries, you need to check what the law says, how much you need to pay for the absence, sick leave, vacation leave. Usually they're 100% paid at the beginning.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that. And also there's a question on the flexibility of the analysis. So how flexibility is actually provided when it comes to unexpected absences?
In terms of,
Yeah, the analysis.
And I can answer this. Well, flexibility is a case-by-case thing. Either that means you want to connect the data to, let's say, some financial aspects of it, like with your general ledger, and see how well you're performing per capita when it comes to either absences or when people are not absent, and then work from there, either up or down. It depends. When it comes to flexibility, the main goal of the tools is that they are as flexible as they can be, because they need to provide an answer.
Absolutely, yeah. And last but not least, does this kind of data analysis help us to see whether there's a surplus of workers?
What we are talking about here is, so the data that we usually import is the data that has already transpired. So what we can see is the balance of surplus of workers today. What we are probably trying to achieve is see if there will be a surplus of workers in the future, or whether there will be certain bottlenecks when it comes to manufacturing department. This is what we do want to strive towards. However, that is a different type of analysis. It is not an analysis on the historical data, which we have focused on today. It is an analysis that is more focused into either machine learning, artificial intelligence, and so on. It is obviously doable. We are doing it. However, the amount of data that needs to support that is much higher than we simply had time to discuss here today.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for sharing your experience once again, and thank you for answering all of the questions. And I hope you had a great time, and see you very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.